Jessie B Scrapping here, coming back with another process video. These are the pictures I'm going to be scrapping. They're of my daughter and mother-in-law. We went out to dinner once, and so I decided to scrap these. Here's the sketch that we're going to be working on. And so I have this piece of frame that I want to use, and I got some stars and yeah, these little stars to match the frame. I'll probably pull in more stars, but I'm not sure what yet. And then I got these scraps here that I'm gonna try to do like a messy layer on the back of the pictures for, and a white cardstock, and I'm gonna do some mixed media, and I'll show you that. And I don't know what else I'm gonna do, but let's get scrapbooking. Okay, so I take my white cardstock here, and I'm using just some acrylic paints from the dollar store, the Dollar Tree, and I thought I showed them, but I must not have. And I'm mixing black and red because I don't want it to be completely red, because my daughter is wearing a more burgundy colored shirt and my mother-in-law is wearing a deep red shirt. So I'm just doing the packaging technique. I'm putting the paint onto a piece of packaging, smushing it, and then laying it onto the piece of cardstock and smushing it down. I do not have any gesso on this. It does warp. Yeah, it warps pretty bad. But I was able to get it to flatten out, just laying some big pads of paper on top of it overnight, and I got to flatten out pretty good. And then I put in just a little bit of just plain red, because it isn't like a blood red, it's more of a pinkish red, but I didn't want a whole lot of it, but I did want it for just a little accent. And then I am splatting it with red and black to give it just that little splatty look. And I like it. I like mixed media backgrounds. They're fun, but they're fun, and I would like to do more. So here's my pictures. I decided to put the thin, very thin borders on the back of each one. I'm putting a little bit of white and a little bit of black poking around each picture, just a tiny bit. You're not going to see a lot of the mats, but I like the way that it emphasizes the photos. So as I'm doing this, I'm thinking about these photos and realize my daughter is facing the opposite direction than the sketch. So I'm thinking, oh, I probably should reverse the sketch. So there, I reversed it. And I bring out the, after a while, I let it dry for a while, and I bring out the mixed media background, and I start laying things on it the way that they are in the sketch. I stick actually really close to this sketch. I do move my title, but pretty much, yeah, I am really using it as a good blueprint. The only thing I forgot to put on it, as I was going to go around and do that journaling around the outside, and I totally spaced it. So I'm just going to pop up the one picture that lays over top of the two of them, and then I'm going to use liquid glue to hold this these pictures down to the mixed media background, because yeah, I never know if the ATG will actually stick to the paint. So I figured I just better be safe than sorry. And so I'm putting all this down here. Like I said, I was going to do the journaling. Actually, I was just going to have it say Corey and Mae-mae all the way around. But yeah, after I start putting everything on, I forgot, and so I changed it a little bit. So I'm popping up some of the stars, especially like over this little frame here and stuff. So I'm using some of that foam. I popped up the one picture, and I'll put that down in a sec. But my background paper, I actually have it stuck down onto one of my old Cricut mats. It still has some sticky on it, and so that was helping it stay down because it was really buckling good. And so I didn't want to fight with it, so I stuck it onto the Cricut mat, and it kept it pretty flat. And then I'll take it off later. Alright, so I am bringing in these little stars, and I see that my camera is out of way just a little bit, but I think I move it, so you don't see that top corner, but that's okay because I have to move that whole cluster in a little bit. I draw some stars, just hand-drawn stars in a Sharpie around, and then I go and find my sequin mix that I got from Walmart, and I separated all the stars out of it. And so now I'm looking for just the silver and tiny blue ones. So I start off with the nice big, I don't even know what you call it, holographic? Yeah, the holographic silver ones. And I put them on first. And then I go back and I find the itty bitty, they're tiny little blue ones, and dark blue, light blue, and I think a couple of the pink. But the pinks are funny because if in one light they're pink and in the other light they're yellow. And I think I only put 2 or 3 of those on. But I really like the way that they all turn out. And so this little tool I'm using here, I got at the Dollar Tree. It has a round tip on both ends. One is bigger than the other. And I just put a tiny, tiny little dab of glue on one side, and it picks up all the sequins real easy. And then the other side, I'll dip it into some of my glue and make a bigger spot and then place it down. So it works really good for being able to pick up and put down the sequins. I have one that has a rubber tip on it too, but it doesn't seem to work quite as good. I have no idea where that little heart went. I took it off and it disappeared. I still haven't found it. So I don't know what I did with it. So, but I do grab 3 other red hearts and I put them on the, in 3 different spots on the layout. And then I grab these, they're just like a crystal gem. I got the red hearts from the Dollar Tree and the little jewels I got at Walmart. And this is where I realized that I have to move that whole cluster that you can't see just down a little bit, because I've decided, since I forgot my journaling, that I want to put a black border all the way around. So I have to cut at least 2 sides. So here I'm just going to cut the top and one side, and so you can see that little cluster now up there. And it was way up higher, but yeah, I was able to get it to move. So actually I think I cut that one at a little bit of an angle because I'm looking at the layout now and realize that it's not quite square up on the top, but that's okay. I didn't notice it until just now, so no big deal. So then I go to my stash and I grab a black cardstock that I had already gutted, and I'm going to use this as a border around the whole thing. Just kind of, since I didn't do the journaling around it, it gives it just that little bit of a finished look, in my opinion. I decided to do some scattering and splattering, as Laura always says, and so I grab the puffy dots, puffy paints, and black, and I put them around, and then I'm looking at it going, oh, I forgot my title. So I decided just to do a handwritten title up in this top corner. And in the big Sharpie, I write lunch and Mae-mae. And then I come back in with a smaller pen and write with between it. So lunch with Mae-mae is my title. And I hope you liked it. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, please subscribe. And if you already are subscribed, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I hope you enjoy the close-ups here.